This short video answers 4 questions about the use of prescriptive analytics in financial planning, forecasting, and performance management processes. This includes a definition of what prescriptive analytics is, how it resolves key challenges in global manufacturers, and what financial executives must do differently to effectively utilize it. One of the key messages of this video is that prescriptive analytics is essential for establishing effective rolling forecast, cash flow forecasting, and scenario planning processes. It does this by enabling mature forms of strategic, financial, and operational integration that enables global manufacturers to effectively manage complexity. While these integrated processes can create significant long-term value, what's also important to appreciate is that they can also create short-term value that can self-fund their development. Not to mention the fact that they can dramatically reduce the cost of operating and implementing planning and performance management activities across the entire enterprise. Appreciating these opportunities starts with an understanding of the different types of analytics and the questions that they answer. Descriptive analytics deals with the presentation of historic data, while predictive analytics deals with the use of that data to provide insights about the future. Prescriptive analytics, on the other hand, uses a model of the business itself to help manufacturers make decisions about what they should do. In simple terms, predictive analytics answers the question, what can we sell? While prescriptive analytics answers the questions, can we actually make any money? And do we have the capacity? Another way of thinking about prescriptive analytics is a mature form of driver-based planning that can be used to support rolling forecasts and driver-based planning that support both finance and operations. From a planning process perspective, predictive analytics provides planning model parameters like demand forecasts, while prescriptive analytics provides the planning model itself. This includes the structures of the planning elements and the relationships between them, which in turn produces financial and operational plans. This same analogy applies to cash flow forecasting. While predictive analytics provides key inputs to cash flow forecasting, it doesn't support the cash flow forecasting model itself. This is what prescriptive analytics does. Traditional forms of prescriptive analytics support supply chain planning and optimization, while more modern tools provide the means to support enterprise planning by incorporating non-supply chain activities and costs. Prescriptive analytics tools feature a host of built-in modeling logic that supports both financial and operational planning. For example, manufacturing, supply chain, and optimization logic. What's not always recognized is that these tools can also be used without optimization. In such cases, they support dynamic driver-based planning models. Now, the term driver-based planning model is one that is often used, but not always with the same meaning. So let's define what we mean by this. One of the key principles of dynamic drivers is that they model work or activities, like those shown on the screen. They translate customer demand for products into operational resource requirements, which in turn are translated into financial projections. When supporting integrated business planning processes, prescriptive analytics typically uses high-level models that work with customer segments and product lines or groups. The logic defined earlier is then attached to each of the appropriate activities. The activities within the model are connected to form flows. What makes these models dynamic are how upstream volumes, shown on the left, are automatically translated into volumes for downstream drivers, shown on the right. And when upstream volumes change, so too do the downstream driver volumes. This connection of upstream and downstream activities can result in millions of planning transactions. It is this level of detail that enables these models to be vastly more accurate than traditional driver-based models, which is what enables them to cope with the type of volume and mix changes that manufacturers often struggle with, and quantify their effect on revenues, costs, and cash flows. These supply chain models can then be connected to other activities. Such connections provide the basis for driver-based models at an enterprise level. But traditional supply chain planning and optimization tools don't always support this, which is where modern prescriptive analytics tools come in. One of the key features of modern prescriptive analytics tools is that they separate the optimizer from the model management and presentation layers. This enables flexible applications that can be adapted to any modeling challenge with little or no programming. This is in contrast to traditional supply chain optimization tools where all three layers are combined. These tools can require significant programming to change, which makes them inflexible, which is one reason why these tools are not being effectively utilized in financial planning processes. The second component of mature prescriptive analytics tools are the platforms upon which applications are developed. They enable applications to effectively utilize, update, and maintain shared models, measures, and other data. This is represented by the top right corner of the graphic on the left side of the screen. Without these platforms, prescriptive analytics models can be difficult to maintain and use in planning and performance management processes. This is the challenge of using older, insight-driven tools having limited capabilities for managing processes. This is reflected in the graphic on the bottom left. The point being that there are significant differences between older prescriptive analytics tools and more modern ones that are designed to be integrated into planning and performance management processes. The hallmark of modern prescriptive analytics tools is that they are embedded into platforms that enable models to be integrated into planning and performance management applications. A key capability of these platforms is their ability to support master data management. This is important because these tools are highly dependent on attributes and hierarchies that are often unique to planning applications. Another is a central definition of outcomes, business processes, and activities that are unique to manufacturing and supply chain-driven organizations. They provide the central mechanism for integrating applications. Low-code application development is a term describing such platform technology. Specific capabilities that comprise such platforms are highlighted in red. These capabilities are described in more detail on the screen. They are the ones that comprise mature forms of low-code application development platforms, a new technology category now being covered by technology analysts like Gartner. Their use in planning and performance management enables process breakthroughs that weren't achievable even a few short years ago. These platform capabilities provide the foundation for integrating prescriptive analytics into key planning and performance management processes like financial planning and forecasting, sales and operations planning, and the others shown on the screen. These capabilities also provide the means to leverage planning model parameters across multiple optimization applications. For example, organizations can build and deploy tax optimization applications based on the foundation built for cash flow forecasting. Platforms supporting such flexible models and processes enable more strategic and enterprise-wide approaches to prescriptive analytics, one where models can be adapted to all needs and be integrated into all financial and operational applications and processes. This is in stark contrast to traditional and tactical forms of prescriptive analytics that meet basic supply chain needs but not those of the organization as a whole. A key feature of strategic platforms is that they enable models and applications to be quickly and easily phased in over time. And this is important because most organizations will implement prescriptive analytics and integrated processes in stages. The difference in value between these two extremes can be significant. For example, a $10 billion manufacturer might measure the value of strategic approaches in terms of billions over a 5 to 10 year period, while tactical ones could be measured in millions. The example on the screen illustrates that the value of strategic solutions can be 4 times higher than those of tactical ones, and even more in some cases. These value differences stem from how cost structures change as manufacturers become more complex. A key issue being that a smaller proportion of costs vary directly with volume, and that more vary indirectly with volume and supply chain activities. A key issue is that tactical prescriptive analytics tools address only a portion of manufacturing cost structures, since they focus on supply chain activities, while strategic ones address the entire cost structure. The difference between strategic and tactical approaches is significant because non-supply chain costs are the ones where manufacturers often have the least visibility and control. Such capability gaps are a key contributor to strategy execution difficulties that can also cause significant value erosion. Evidence of this value erosion can be found in the results of research studies, examples of which are shown on the screen. At a high level, the capability gap that's common to these different forms of value erosion is an inability to effectively plan, manage, and govern strategic, financial, and operational outcomes. And this capability gap contributes to the cost of complexity, an amount that can approach 5% of sales. Further details about these research results can be found in separate videos. The main point here is that the absence of strategic forms of prescriptive analytics is a key factor underlying such value erosion. In other words, it is a key enabler of processes that allow manufacturers to plan, manage, and govern outcomes. This high-level capability gap is what separates strategic and tactical forms of integrated business planning. Detailed explanations of this maturity model and the detailed gaps that comprise it can be found in separate videos. Two things are worth noting here, though. First, that strategic forms of prescriptive analytics is a key enabler of mature forms of integrated business planning, or strategic IBP. And conversely, that tactical processes fragment strategic, financial, and operational planning and performance management processes. This fragmentation issue results in redundant software and non-value-added manual activities. What's more, it also leads to longer implementation times and higher costs. For example, fragmentation results in duplicate models used in financial and operational planning processes, and manual variance analysis and reconciliation of financial and operational plans. This can result in software acquisition, implementation, and operating costs that can be twice that of strategic solutions. In other words, strategic solutions can be 50% of the costs of tactical ones. What's more, strategic solutions address capability gaps that contribute to the cost of complexity, which, as we saw earlier, can amount to 5% of sales. This takes us back to the key messages that we started with. Of course, the strategic value potential is important, but what's equally important is that a good portion of this value can often be realized in the short term. What's more, it can be enough to self-fund prescriptive analytics and broader integrated business planning efforts. We also saw that strategic prescriptive analytics solutions can create significant tactical value by eliminating redundant and non-value-added costs and activities. In so doing, they also provide the means to dramatically improve rolling forecasts, scenario planning, and cash flow forecasting through effective strategic, financial, and operational integration. What results is more effective complexity management that enables superior strategy execution and value creation. Thank you for watching this video. For further details about its contents, please feel free to use the contact information shown on the screen.